Welcome to Art Walkthrough, where I guide you through my thought process to make you better at the game of art. In the second portion, I'm going to walk you through how I use Moho 14 Pro to animate Machi as a fully rendered painting and bring him to life. So this is Moho. I'm not going to get too much into the technicals of Moho 14, but I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what I did here and what Moho 14 is capable of to bring your characters to life. So as you can tell from the layout, Moho is a bone-based workflow, meaning it's like puppet animation, or also called cutout animation, which makes it perfect for something like animating a painting. It also has a lot of powerful vector tools that I'm not going to go into in this video, but just know that I can do vector animation for kids' cartoon and TV shows. Think of like Pete the Cat or Bluey or these types of serialized cartoon shows. Moho is built for that. It's also built for feature films and really complex animation. It's a very powerful tool. And one of the coolest parts about Moho is its smart bone feature. What this does is it records actions that are baked to a specific bone. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to work an entirely new blank timeline and start moving things around so you can see how this works in live. Because on frame 0 is where we build everything. Nothing actually moves on frame 0. We just set up all the pieces. And on frame 1 is when everything can be moved around. So I'm going to go to frame 1 and you're going to start seeing some really cool stuff. Watch. He can blink. His eyes can move. His eyes have vertical movement as well, just a little bit. And what this does, the reason I separated the eyes, is it allows me to get some jittery movements that human eyes make when they're looking around and doing things. I can also animate his head turning. And these are all baked to the motion of the bone. So when the bone is animated, these are called smart bone actions. When the bone moves, there's a whole series of actions across all the layers that is associated with it. And the cool part about this is as long as you keep your animation workflow clean, you can start combining these movements across your entire animation. So for example, another baked movement is its own action called breathing, and it's just this breathing loop. Another one is his hand shaking. This is its own motion that I can then drag into the main timeline and start layering things so Machi looks like he's coming to life. Another really cool feature about Moho is its bone dynamics. So here is his hair. There is zero animation actually occurring. What's happening is that the bones in green have their rotation randomized. And every subsequent bone in the chain, those that are kind of the salmon pink color, are dynamically reacting to the green bones. So each bone in the chain is reacting to the one previous to it. It's called delayed constraints. So there's no actual animation occurring, but it looks like wind, and I didn't have to animate anything. I put a single keyframe on the timeline and I get all of this dynamic movement. Now there is wind and there are physics inside Moho. I chose not to use them because it was limiting what I was able to do with these bones and have them rotate with the head. This action allows me to dynamically move the hair strands with the rotation of his head. Same thing is occurring with these rope animations. The rope is being animated by a single point right here. This one green bone is dynamically moving the rest of the chain by just going back and forth, and the rest of the chain creates this undulating movement as it dynamically reacts to the bones previous in the chain. I plan on using Moho in future videos where I bring Slink to life, my channel mascot, as a sort of helper on my tutorial videos, and you'll see him running around and doing things. But I have yet to make his rig using Moho's vector tools. Another really powerful feature of Moho is its smart warp. There are other programs like Spine that do this really well as well, but I think Moho's is really great, super intuitive, did not take me long to use it at all. And this controls the head movements, and anything that sort of looks 3D is all controlled by smart warp. So if we go down here to the list, to my smart warp list, what I can do is grab my point tool and start dynamically moving things around, and it affects the image. And this can all be animated. Every single one of these points can be animated. And so what I use is this magnet tool to sort of drive the direction of the head where I wanted it to go. Just like that. Super powerful. Every single one of these points, every single layer can be animated inside these smart bone actions, you can do an insane amount of stuff. But what this required was a little bit more setup. Machi's bottom half is a single layer. I had to paint a lot of this in. I had to go back and actually spend more time painting all of this. Like all of this whole section right here had to be painted. I had to separate the hair so that way it was on its own layer. Then the head was on its own layer, and inside the head, and the hair is made up of little strands. His eye is separated from the head as well. The head is its own layer. I even painted a whole other eyelid. This is just a layer for the eyelid, if I remember correctly. It's just an eyelid. The animation for the scarf moving is just a bunch of points in space moving around like this. And they just go back and forth, kind of. They just do this undulating movement. You can see I had to paint out certain layers to get the correct effect. And then the belt is in multiple pieces, so that way I can control each side. It has little strings attached to it, fur, little strings, and then his ears on its own layer that I also had to animate. So that way it has a slight spring to it. Again, those bone dynamics coming into play. And then finally his hand. I had to do a lot of painting here too. I had to paint underneath the hand a little bit. His fingers are also controlled dynamically. They're just sort of like loosely springing around. And the nice thing about this is Moho has a PSD importer. So anytime I made changes to my PSD inside Clipsio Paint and I saved it out, within a couple seconds, it would update and all of the art would update as well, as long as the layers were correctly named. Also gave the enemies their own animation that just repeats and repeats and repeats. But you'll notice something is missing from Machi and the scene, and it's his scarf. And that's because the scarf, well, yeah, not ideal. And this is not Moho's fault. If I really wanted to animate the scarf well, I would have had to paint it straight, I believe, and then I probably would have gotten a better look. And I thought to myself at that point, why don't I just bring it into 3D and paint it there? So that's exactly what I did. Here is the scarf running as a cloth simulation inside Blender. And what I did is I painted the front and back of the scarf as flat textures to keep that painterly look and as close to the original as possible. We exported that as a EXR sequence, which is a compositing format for Nuke and Fusion and a bunch of other compositing programs. And Fusion reads that really well. And I brought that all into DaVinci Resolve Fusion for the final composite, which we will see in the third part of this series. Thank you everyone for watching. Consider supporting my work on Patreon. Like and subscribe if you learn anything and you find this all interesting. And as always, go and make good art.